So, you dropped some serious cash on a new camera. You've got the gear. Why do your photos still look kinda amateur? Why do they feel so flat? It's a super frustrating feeling, but I'm telling you, the answer has nothing to do with your camera. It's about learning to tell the viewer's eye exactly where to look. The great news? It's a skill, not some hidden secret. And today, I'm giving you 7 practical composition hacks that will instantly make every photo you take look more intentional and professional. First up is the one you've probably heard of, the rule of thirds. Most beginners put their subject dead center in the frame. The problem? It feels static and, let's be honest, a little boring. The fix is to imagine your screen is divided by a tic-tac-toe grid. The hack is simple. Put your main subject on one of those lines, or, even better, right on one of the 4 spots where the lines cross. Why does this work? Our brains just find this off-center placement more dynamic and interesting. It gives the whole photo a natural energy. Just turn on the grid overlay in your camera's settings and start using it. It's that easy. Alright, hack number 2 is all about creating a journey. Leading lines are awesome visual guides that pull your eye through the photo, usually right toward your subject. We're talking roads, fences, rivers, even the edge of a shadow. These lines create a massive sense of depth and movement, turning a flat image into something that feels more three-dimensional. You're basically giving the viewer's eye a roadmap to follow, which makes the image feel deliberate and satisfying. So don't just snap a picture of a landscape, find a line that leads us into it. Think of this hack as building a natural stage for your subject. Framing just means using elements in the foreground to create a frame around your main point of interest. Think about shooting through a doorway, under an arch, or between the branches of a tree. This trick instantly adds context and a huge sense of depth, making the viewer feel like they're right there in the scene. The foreground frame helps pull our eyes inward and separates the background from the main subject, which really amps up that feeling of dimension. Listen, what you leave out of your photo is just as important as what you put in. Negative space is simply the empty, uncluttered area around your subject. Picture a single person standing on a huge, empty beach. By giving your subject all that breathing room, you automatically make it the hero of the shot. This works by cutting out distractions and forcing our focus directly onto what matters. Plus, a ton of negative space can create powerful feelings like peace or solitude, adding another whole layer to your story. Our brains are hardwired to love symmetry and patterns. We actively look for them, and when we find them, it just creates this satisfying feeling of harmony and order. So keep an eye out for reflections in water or repeating details in architecture. Centering a perfectly symmetrical scene can be incredibly powerful. But you want a pro move? Find a pattern and then break it. Think one red umbrella in a sea of black ones, or a single lit window in a dark building. That break in the pattern creates an immediate, powerful focal point your eye can't possibly ignore. A flat photo is a boring photo. To make your images pop and feel three-dimensional, you need to think in layers: a foreground, a midground, and a background. When you include elements in all 3 of these planes, you create a sense of depth that pulls the viewer right into the image. A classic example is having some flowers up close in the foreground, a person in the midground, and mountains way off in the background. By connecting these layers, you create a visual path for the eye, making the scene feel so much bigger. Sometimes, the best way to make a statement is to get right to the point. Filling the frame means getting closer, either by walking or zooming, so your subject takes up the entire shot. This is the ultimate way to get rid of distracting backgrounds and make your subject totally unavoidable. If the background isn't adding to the story, just ditch it. This technique is amazing for portraits and street photography, where an expression or a small detail is the most important part of the story. You force the viewer to see exactly what you want them to see. Alright, don't feel like you need to memorize all 7 of these at once. The goal is to just start seeing the world a little differently. So, my challenge to you is this. Pick one of these hacks and really focus on it for the next week. Which one are you going to try? Let me know down in the comments. And if this was helpful and you want more practical guides to level up your photography, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Remember that frustration we talked about at the beginning? The feeling that your expensive gear wasn't enough? That ends today. These 7 techniques are the building blocks of almost every great photo ever taken. It's not about the camera, it's about how you build the shot. You now have the tools to control the viewer's eye and tell a much more powerful story. So get out there, start practicing, and take photos that you are truly proud of.